Thank you for taking the time for our Bunchrides team video. So the purpose of this video is to show you that we're trying to integrate everything into a single platform. We're not trying to be Facebook, we're not trying to be WhatsApp or Instagram or Strava or Eventbrite or Meetup or even Viber or Slack. The purpose of our platform is to make it easy just to have everything in one place. You don't have to use multiple platforms at once for people that don't want to use Facebook or don't want to use Team App or don't want to use WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, etc. So we start off with our team page. And again, this is making it easy for people to find your club. Maybe you're a cycling organisation or you're a business that runs shop rides. Here we just have it all in the one place. We are map-based, so anything you're looking for starts with a location. So under our search for teams, you just put in your location. I'm looking for a team in Greensborough, for example. That's where this one is I mocked up. This is our beta app, beta testing app. We're about to do a major release for tags, which I'll get to at the end of the video. So where do you go riding? Well, we ride pretty basic stuff. It's a mountain bike, road, off-road, gravel, and velodrome even. And what type of team is it? Is it a government base? Is it a cycling club? Is it just a group of friends and family? And the reason for why you do it, most importantly, where you do it. You do it for mental health, physical health. Maybe you do it for community. Maybe it's competition if you're a cycling club, and the age group. So part of the onboarding is you put in your age. We ask for year, date, and a birth year. Don't ask for date of birth. Just so we know that when people have a team, they're getting people within the same age group. And ride level. Most people just do 1 out of 5 bar graph. We break it down to 4 components, because you may have a situation where you may have been a marathon runner and you can do a sub 4 hour, but when it comes to riding a bike, you've only been doing it 6 months. So that would bring down your average. And team admins, we have direct messaging on Bunchrides, which is the second icon, or the third icon with the number 12 on it. So anyone that wants to contact the the team administrator or organizer, it's very simple. You don't need to use a separate application. It's all done within the Bunchrides app. And that brings us to schedule. So one thing that people say, I've spoken to many people now, especially recently, and when I talk about what we've got, they say, it's so many clicks to RSVP. That's, of course, if you can RSVP. A lot of the times it's WhatsApp, you're just saying, yep, going or not going. It's actually text. Here, you say, well, I'm interested. I've done March because this is a Hills Rider created today. And you can say if you're going or not going. Very simple if you want to change your selection. And here I can just say, am I going or not going? And you got your team feed as well. So with the team feed, we're not professing to be Instagram, but we are trying just to be one place where if people are organising their rides, they don't have to post it on Instagram as well, post it on Facebook or post it on Strava, where else you normally post to get it out to your community or to your membership. It's just here. You just click on one of the icons. It takes you directly there. Again, it's not super featured, but it's enough to get you by. And the main thing that we're doing, and you can see the feed here, you can see updates, no different to your typical feed. We are introducing something which is sort of like sub-chats or sub-groups, where normally what happens is you'll have one major chat group and everyone gets notified about everything, and it gets to a point where you just have a tsunami of messages, tsunami of updates, notifications, to the point where you just switch them off. With what we're doing with our new update with these chat rooms, is that it's actually going to be distilled down to a granular level. So if you just want to talk about new gear or for sale, it goes within that chat group. Or if you want to talk about just general chit chat, it goes in that group. And then you have the option of actually notifying people of the updates or not. So really, the team admins or the users control how much of this information is distributed amongst your team membership. And your team members and your admins and your ride leaders, they get to choose, where they talk, where they communicate, how they engage with those people on your in your team. And rides, we are map-based. So the great thing is that you just have a central map. Maybe you're doing a weekend away, and you might be an hour. You might be just starting a ride in King Lake, or might be an hour away. So people quickly can see, okay, well, show me what ride this is on the weekend. Or you got a filter. So you can just click on filter, This filter is actually filtering your club rides or your team rides. It's not a general filter out of all the rides on our platform. It's just within your team. Again, you've got ride about. You can say, okay, I'm looking for, show me a ride that's racing, for example, or a specific tag. Very powerful. I'll just go back. And past rides, this is where people have RSVP'd. You can just see the number there. Riders, that's your members of your team. Results, which is more data-driven, which I can go through in another video. Awards, again, data-driven. And supporters, a really important part of why you have your team. Giving back to the people who support you. Maybe it's your local cafe. Maybe it's a local bike shop that really looks after the members of your team. Normally, again, this goes onto your Facebook group. It goes onto your footer and say, these are our sponsors. Here, they've always evergreen get seen by people. Supporters tab is viewable by public members of the public. So if you've got to open a restricted team, again, our privacy follows. It's no different to the major platforms, open or public. You can automatically join the team. For example, if you're a shop, you can do shop rides. If it's restricted, there's a request to join. It goes to a team administrator, which needs to be approved. And private, you invite people. So there's a high level of control over what people see. But for supporters, it's all about giving them exposure. So for open and restricted teams, the supporters tab is visible. And under private teams, it is visible only to members because you have to be invited to a team to see that. And then we can go to schedule. So again, I'm going to go down to the one ride that we've done. This is what we call multi-routes. We did an update end of last year. So what happens with a lot of rides is you may have a meeting point, which is the same, but you go, well, we may meet here, but where do we go? We may go north, south, east, west, depending on if it's wind, etc. You may have different routes, so you may vary it from week to week. You can also see where you are relative to the start. So in this example, again, I'm on the beta testing app. We're about to do that major release, so there are a lot of test rides on here. This is not public, this is not public facing, this is just on a separate server, which is totally different to what is on our production server at the moment. So with all the ride pages, we've got what we call formal and informal. Informal is flexible, whereas formal is inflexible, which means it's got the same route, time, date, and rules around it. Informal, which this is it obviously you can change the route from week to week. And you can see all your basic information, type of ride, reason for it, distance, frequency, all the stuff that people populate with words in their feeds or on their pages. It's just here. It's just under, all the basic information you need, elevation, total time. A lot of these are optional fields. You don't have to populate it. It's really about get ready quickly to organize a ride so you're not spending a lot of time detailing it. Again, ride level, again, broken down to 4. You can message the person, the contact person. Also ride leaders, which is in another ride I created as a test ride. You can view the routes, so this is like a route library, and you can actually allocate. So you can see on the next ride, I've already allocated this. We're doing the rabbit loop. If I look at the schedule, you can go through there and say, okay, well, on the 3rd of March, I want to add a ride route. Which one will I add? You can view the particular routes here. You go, okay, yeah, maybe I'll do this route here, which is alternative rabbit loop. Save. Yep, I accept. All riders will get a notification if they change it. Yep, and it's right there straight away. And if you do change the actual route, all the people who have RSVP to it, so in this instance here, that's myself, but if it was someone else that was a non-administrator, they would get a notification informing them that the ride route had changed and gives them the opportunity to go, well, actually, I don't want to do that route. It's a bit too long or it doesn't suit me for that particular day. And the ride feed, so again, this is very similar to what we had previously. You can add photos, information about the ride level, not team, but it's actually distilled down to the ride only. Members of the ride and supporters, again, very similar to what we had in the team supporters tab as well. And we've got the schedule tab. So this is actually the global schedule tab. So this is actually a place that is a repository for all the rides you're a member of. So in Facebook, they say interested, yes or no. I can't remember exactly the terminology they use for the events. Well, for us, the interested is I'm a member. I'm a member of this weekly ride. And then I RSVP from week to week. If it's a weekly ride, I'm not going to be going on every ride. So the RSVP option is just saying, okay, who's actually going on the ride? You've got your private messaging. So again, as we saw earlier when we had that the team administrator message that comes through under your private message or DM, direct messages, which has changed terminology since we first launched. And you can just see, okay, well, the rabbit loop, Maria's got a question about it. No, I've deleted it. Obviously, this is about their testing, what's here. But it gives you an idea that you just get information, what you need very quickly to the ride leader or ride administrator. And you can also filter. So you can just show me inquiries, apply, and you just see, okay, you can see all the headings there, rabbit loop, first test ride. These are all coming from teams or rides when people make inquiries. You've got your profile. I won't go through that, but you can just, again, this aggregates all the different information, what you've posted, activities from your Garmin, your rides, past rides, community, people you're engaged, you're connected to. We don't do following or followers. Teams, your results, awards, again, which is more data-driven, your bookmarks, and your supporters. So really encouraging riders, team members, to actually support the people who support the team by putting these sponsors and your supporters underneath their own profile. So supporters tab is visible to members of the public. The idea being is that it's really about encouraging and giving back to the people that give to you for your cycling club or organisation. And notifications are a very, very important part of the actual application. It really is just telling you what you need to know, who wants to connect with you, what's happening. Someone wants to become a ride leader, ride administrator, or they're inviting you. Here, I invite Eric to be a ride admin and a ride leader. He accepted, so I get a notification back to say yes. Here, there's a team notification. You can see here, post on yellow coats. And again, if you say you have this option as well for a ride, which is a team ride notification. So you might say, okay, ride called off. It would look something like this one here, and it'll be view or ignore. In this instance, someone's inviting. So if you want to invite people to your ride outside of Bunchrides, it would look like something this within your community. Alternatively, you may wish to also accept if someone wants to connect with you as well. So this is a centralized place where we do all that important information and connections and finding out what's happening and connecting, accepting or declining or viewing through notifications. And the big part of what we're doing is that obviously the main menu, which is the glue that holds it all together, to find rides, teams and riders. Again, I think we've covered off everything in the video. This is additional. So I think for the first part, this is actually the team overview. But one thing we are introducing early next week, I just have to approve and go through these, what we call categories or about categories. I'm just going to find teams. Here you can see all the teams in Melbourne. These were based on our earlier test teams. And it's going to go through. Again, you can see where you do, why you ride, where you do it, reasons for it. Is it advocacy type of team? Is it a cycling club? I'm just going to do a deep dive quickly and go, well, I'm just interested in racing. And say I'm a female, so go racing. And I'm also interested in women's cycling. So I'm just going to put that in there, women. Okay, there. Okay, now search. So I've got them there. Save, apply. Okay, St Kilda Cycling Club. So really easy just to find what you need when you do it at a very granular level. And that's what Bunchrides is all about. It's either getting yourself new members or members of your team or your bicycle shop if you're doing shop rides or your social group, or actually managing all your rides and communications without having to use conventional applications, which are now becoming very cumbersome and creating a burden on you having to spend so much time with the notifications and tsunami of messages that come through. And thank you for your time.